G'day guys, Josh here. This is going to be a complete 180 from some of my videos where I like, basically how to educate people and stuff like that. Because I have found the most greatest thread of all time on MMO-Champion. And you guys will be bewildered, amazed, not even sure if it's real or it's fake or anything like that. But you just got to watch it on all tour. The link will be in the comments below. And let's just dig right into it, okay? I've got like a few posts, or actually 50 posts from the thread, and my god, is an absolute banger. Okay, let's just start about this. Okay, so let's put it in perspective. So this is 4 months before Naxx is released, or Wrath Lich King in general is released in classic servers. Okay, and basically they just announced that Naxx will be buffed. Naxx at level 80 was probably one of the easiest dungeons. That its health and damage was going to be buffed slightly, I believe, by about 20%. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here. So basically, Young Battlebeard of the MMO-Champion forums, of course, guys, by the way, do not harass these individuals or anything like that at all in this thread. You know, please be nice, please be cool. Like, I don't sponsor any harassment. If you harass these people, I don't know you. But this is just one of the greatest threads, so let's just get into it, okay? As you might know, Naxx and Wrath Lich King will be buffed and harder than it was back in the day. Some people will cheer for this, but I think this will be a huge disaster for the game. Now, I generalize some, but I don't speak for everyone, but I know many will agree with me, which is basically saying, like, hey, everyone's going to agree with me. Let's face it, WoW Classic is a dad gamer version of WoW. I don't think so, actually. Well, there's some super tryouts. Most of us are 30, 40 plus. I'm just going to say that's retail at the moment. Have quite busy lives. We have kids that are not being called a boom or a dad game casual makes the most of us. Yeah, true. Rather than getting upset. Where am I getting at? I'm getting many of us do not appreciate difficulty. We love Classic as a nostalgic trip back in time. Chill, easy raids, laugh with friends. If you want a challenge, we would play retail. Interesting about the retail part, but I digress. The proof is out there. Classic since 2019 has been great with a few exceptions, rather than 2 moments of total spare. Tier 5 pre-nerf and Sunwell Plateau. Even though I'm going to say, talking to a lot of people who did that content, I don't recall a lot of guilds breaking up. There is no coincidence that tons and tons of guilds fell apart at these moments. Spelling error, by the way. And that tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of players quit. I didn't know Classic had that many players, to be honest. Tier 5, especially Sunwell, was freaking awful. Ruined much of the idea we love with Classic. See how it's gone from I don't talk for everyone to now I talk for everyone? For many of us dad gamers, guild rating is simply not an option and hasn't been seen outside pre-nerf Tier 5 and Shadow Pain, sorry, Sunwell Plateau. Our lives are too busy, and that is fine. This is a virtual game, should not be able to poke all the way. Do not say this game is made for guilds, because that's simply not a guild. Joining a guild is not an option and not relevant in discussion whatsoever. This guy's like literally like talking for himself and making it like and trying to pose on everyone. And basically it is doing, I got some spare time, let's run Sunwell Plateau. Okay, going, need, whatever, doesn't exist now. With all the boss and acronyms, there'll be more non-existent. This is terrible. I hyped Wrath Lich King so much for many, many months since I killed Illidan in January with a pug. I like how he's, what? I'm confused. I have hyped this because I know the gun was game soon with Sunwell release would be unplayable. Look forward to easy content. Now there's no hype. I'm not sure if I'll do any boss in Wrath Lich King. Since I love raiding, should I even play it? And if you think you're lost, do you think it's just our loss? When you see thousands of people quit. Look, they killed Classic, and even worse yet, you continue to offer the cancer as GDKP. People complain of Rage over Devil Immortal, but TBC is even more playing to win, which is played as called GDKP. I know GDKP has its weak points and stuff like that, but this is just as a gone crazy kind of thing, okay? Because let's face it, the only way to experience Sunwell Plateau now is via GDKP. You can't get into this unless you're rich, having to make the game completely pay to win, or you can just get into a guild and, you know, that's how you make money out of it. What do you think is going to happen with a backstack Ramos? Soft reset pugs will die, pugging will die. Guild rating is not an option for so many of us. Our 2 options will be quit or to basically buy gold and join GDKP runs of Naxx, making it further pay to win. Does anyone think this is healthy for the game? There are no winners with a Buffed Naxx. No one wins with this. Buffs will be too hard for us dad games, but give us 0 prestige for guilds. It's still so much easier than any retail can offer. So who actually wants a buff? Oh, good God. Just anyway. So, first of all, HC Taz, he basically like, no, won't be hard at all. Level 37 is cleared in greens. Let's, you know, it's fine. It's gonna be fine with the buff, okay? Then basically posts this thread of being like, hey, we don't agree with you. And he's just like, basically got called a kid because he's crying about it. It's like, I'm a dad gamer. I don't know why he's proud of this, to be honest. Mind you guys, this is made in June, July. We don't want elitism in Classic. Boy, did he miss the boat there. There's a lot of elitism in vanilla, okay? And, you know, I'm crying because I expect wipe after wipe after wipe, clearing a few bosses at max, and if people don't leave it after a wipe, it's a miracle. I expect there'll be extreme demands to join gear, achievements, making it nearly impossible to find a raid. I expect pug raiding to die completely, and only chance I kill the rest of GDP, and that sucks. But why? This is meant to be the cost starch when a challenge, go pay retail. This guy really, retail's not that much of a challenge sometimes. You gotta remember, MMO-Champion's a fan site. Most of the people, dude, this is the fucking most strongest thing I've ever seen. Most people support any Blizzard decision made, dude. If you go to any MMO-Champion, like Fred, they really don't like Blizzard. I mean, they have Dan user, like, being, they make memes about him with Sylvanas, like, loving Sylvanas. If you look at Discord or even games, a completely different thing. To be fair, no one gives a crap about what Blizzard doing, to be honest. Warranted for what? Who says the game offers a hard chance? Look at Molten Core, the greatest ever time I had back in 2019. The only raid with like 0 mechanics. It was chill, easily, and nearly unwipeable. You can bring any 40 players and still one-shot it. It was amazing. The community was nicer back then. Less toxicity, less and more fun. Wipes create toxicity. No thanks. These poor guys. And also not to mention, they probably mentioned that next round first with dumb people who didn't even hit 80 yet, which is, the main point that they're trying to get to. And the guy, someone actually points out that he spends a lot of time on the forums. Why can't you just raid? Many of us can't commit to raiding the same time every week. Things then will come in a way eventually, but it's work of fun stuff. Pugging is golden. Whenever you get a free throws decide to play, it's almost some pug active. However, Buffed Naxx, but it will never be ever possible to find. And then someone actually quoted here. Oh, no, this is Battlebit actually. I truly hope you're right. I feel Crawl with Wipe and disbands killing non-GAV pugging. Even back in 2008, usually a few bosses killed Wipe like Patchwork, Saffron, and Kill Facade. Why is Destructor Vesuvius not mentioned here? Someone put like original Naxx 25 man was easier than Molten Core power. This is referring to Wrath Lich King, by the way. And someone goes, no, it wasn't. It was wipeable, had some actual mechanics. MC 25 man, so much easier. I don't think, I gotta say right now, you can wipe an MC. Now, basically, at this point, most of the forum goers got a bit restless and pissed off because basically he was making every excuse under the sun on why he can't join a guild, but it has to be something to do with him. And, like, basically, some guys, like, with your criteria, why do you even want to raid, bro? Because you sound like you don't want to raid, like, you shouldn't be wanting to raid. And pretty much he just basically goes onto a tangent saying that, he wants to go easy next round where there's going to be, like, free pools, bam, done, clear it smooth and easily for you laugh, no wipes, get some gear. Everyone's happy. Repeat next week. What we're going to have is this. So, this is the funny part. He's gone from, I don't speak to everyone, to fucking jumping the shark completely. Multiple clears needed, blah, blah, blah. After invite gets declined because you can't get achievement. Keep after different leaders. Eventually, one guy's easing up, requires invites. You have the race has to be too hard. Wipes over and over. One guy's leave. Two guys, blah, blah, blah. Disband, save a free boss is dead. To clear, one is to take out a credit card, get some gold, trade retail classic, but, feel joined to GTKPs. Like, this guy's obsessed with GTKPs, okay? But, mate. And then the next one is someone actually, someone put it out and saying, GTKPs not pay to win, and he just gets into an argument over it as well. This is, like, all Battlebid posts. And someone, finally, a dad gamer who is 36 years of age for this Woods guy, says, like, basically, everyone will be rolling through Wrath Lich King, okay? I played on private servers, okay? They could buff the shit out of Naxx, but still gonna be cakewalk, okay? And, everything's piss easy. And, he makes some bullshit statistics that Pug's only cleared 4 out of 9 BT. And I'm like sitting there going like, mate, if you cleared 4 out of 9 BT, you killed either Essence of Souls, Gertog, or Terran Fiend, which require some sort of coordination. If you kill one of them, you would definitely kill 3 of them. So basically, another guy says I'm 36, he's cleared cutting edge and multiple X-packs, they can buff Naxx like crazy, but I enjoy it more. And so he's like, sounds like you should play retail. Like, this guy's recommending for other people to play stuff when he doesn't understand it, okay? And this is the funny part. I want to get us not trying and maxing, mate. Classic's been like that since the start of Classic, after, like, they eventually cleared vanilla. So some people just getting on the dragon. It's by the way, it's still June. This thread is pitiful. I have a lot of time. I write here, blah blah blah. I can't play at work, and it's like, you have so much time on your hands. Why can't you raid? This is what this guy posts basically. And then pay to win is not absolutely tied to when the game sells extra power. If players sell, it's absolutely pay to win. With enough gold, you can buy absolutely everything, including all the best gear. Yeah, but you can't buy skill. But don't put that in there. You can pay people like you to give you 100% of the drops all week if you're rich enough. Any game in currency you can legally buy. Game token makes it pay to win. Every classic. Sorry for yawning. Game tokens, blah blah blah, makes me pay to win as well. So basically, everyone has this argument that game tokens pay to win. But anyway, it gets better. So basically, someone goes, the game's already a joke. Let's just remove dying from the game while we're at it. And he's like, it's supposed to be a joke. Wow, classic was a time machine back in time. We loved it at you. The game's meant to be your nostalgia trip. So this guy's just going full on, like, you know, basically wipes never happened. People never rage quit. There was no drama or anything like that in the game. And he's got, like, the rose-tinted glasses sewn onto his face, basically, okay? And that's pretty much it. And he's, like, basically trying to tell people, just get into the boomers. Like, this is the funny thing. He's like, he complains about gatekeeping. He's gatekeeping. Interesting. Yeah, that might be true. I remember Naxx being too easy, so now he's letting up. This is what he called a step back. He's trying to step back, and slightly too hard for pugs, which I'm going to say right now, everything in Raffle King was pugged. And he's trying to do the good old thing, you know, us pug raiders, so he's just trying to be a part of a group, trying to merge in a crowd, because, you know, something bad's going to happen, okay? And then basically everyone's like, I don't think it'll be bad, I think you're overreacting, and, like, you know, he's using some figures and whatever from TBC which aren't true, and everyone knows that already. And he's like acting like, you know, he's the prophet that's going to save the world. And pretty much, look at the last line. I hope I am wrong. If I am, or if I one-shot next, this first week is available, I'll make a new thread to cut myself wrong and complete arse. I'm sadly, fairly confident I am right. Okay. You ready? You guys ready? It's going to be fast-forwarding soon. So I haven't been in front of Pug that's managed to kill the first boss, and this is on the lighter server Firemore, which I find very hard to believe because I know Twitch streamers on Firemore who run completely pug runs have completed Sunwell Plateau and killed Caligos. And then only pugs I can see are killed GDKPs. I refuse to join that. And for regular software screws with no bid, they're not conducted as an error, none. Blah 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 blah. So basically he's trying to find excuses why like he's right and everyone else is wrong. And then basically said, you're saying Next 25 was hard as a joke. My guild cleared of 18 players in TBC a year back during Roof Knife. You have no idea what you're talking about. And then Gear Score only started in Ulduar. Before that, it wasn't a thing. And basically he goes like, oh, it's hard for pugs back in the day, not hard for guilds. So he's already stepped back from saying it's going to be hard and everyone's going to wipe to it's only going to be hard for pugs. So he's already like backpedaling as well. So even the Super Kame Dende from DBZ is trying to stop him as well. He's like, hey, mate, stop. We're trying to save you here. It's easily puggable. I've rated main, getting killed, ults rated everything else each week. Even Two Drake Staff was easily puggable pre-Ultra. And Battlebeard, he triple downs. He's like, no, you are wrong. I am right. I did heavy research on the armory. I am smarter than you. And, you know, fast forward, they tried to save him, right? They tried to save him. And then, lo and behold, someone decides to bump the thread in November. This is the second day that Naxx is out. And Awkward Squirtle decides to be like, oh, by the way, cleared Naxx twice. Full clears. Only a couple of wipes. Not that bad, ain't it? And this is where you think at this point, hey, you know, he's going to say, yeah, I'm wrong. I'm a bit of a dum-dum. Yep, you know, fair game. But what comes next is absolutely crazy, okay? Be prepared, right up buckaroos. So basically, a lot of people going in for the jugular here. Fell Plague, another MMO poster. Basically, basically they're talking about how they've cleared Naxx for the week. And pretty much this guy's going, hey, we only had 4 wipes and that's it. And then, boom, 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 the double down. I think this aged well. It took me this reset to finally get an invite and clear Next 25. Mini wipes though. Far harder than back in the day. It took 5 weeks. I expected like twice. But either way, it was not easy. And he double downs. And just an FYI, have you seen the date of the 13th of November? 5 weeks? Mate, Raph wasn't even out then, so something's messy here. And then basically here comes the excuses. No decurse on Noth. Does anyone believe that one? Okay, wiping depending on patchwork, believable. Priests, believable. Noth? What? Wiped on every single boss, okay. And look at this. Like, all these people are like, hey, this is really, really easy. And then there's this try getting a grip. So he's triple downing on this. He's like triple downing on this entire ordeal. And then someone actually wrote, who the hell wipes a Noth? I know. I don't understand. Like people are aware of this game. Like who up's enough? And then basically, so get a group, you have to have an achievement, which you can't get because you don't have the achievement. Um, this is the funny part. He said he cleared it, and he doesn't have the achievement. So now he's been gone from I cleared it, it was hard, I'm right, to I have nothing, blah blah blah. I am pathetic. I am the bottom. And now he shows his gear. So someone was like, hey mate, like he says you could lead your own raid, do heroics, use bets to get better gear. Everyone has one eye level 200 for heroics. Your character can't be that bad because it's pretty easy to get gear via heroics. And then he links his gear, and then he calls everyone elitism because they won't invite him. And mate, you should see his gear, okay? Just an FYI. Obviously the spec's not filled in, but mate, like this gear is really, really, really bad and really, really pathetic. In fact, he can just do heroics and get a lot of upgrades, and he would be completely fine. So yeah, it is literally all he has to do is just do a few heroics. There's people point this out to him, by the way. I try, but nothing ever drops, and if it does, I lose every roll. And heroics are kind of dead here, barely any groups at all. Which I'm going to say straight away is false, because on Aragul, there are still a lot of heroic groups, and on Firemore has 4 times the population, so there's fuck more than what he's saying. Now, Krenor says something, the R word, probably just going to take that out, and it is just like basically after stupidity as well, and pretty much Big Baz is just like, hey mate, I'm going to help you out. Here's a gear link. Here's a talent link. Here's an ideal professions you want to go and stuff like that. And essentially, basically he's trying to say, you can fix it, okay? It's like Big Bad's trying to be nice. And then he's basically like, blah, 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 ignore, I know better, okay? This is where people are like saying, is he a troll or is he just this dumb, okay? Now, basically, he goes like, well, I want to have fun. So I want to have fun. I don't see any fun in challenge. I need no challenge. I just want to do something to group together for me, so have chill and have a good time. And if I can say if this is the case, WoW's probably not for you. And I know I've tried Naxx for 10-man group, newly dinged blue-green gear. We could do a single boss. You could clear Molten Core free, so new dinged without any problem if you went full 40. That's the easiest we've ever seen. I was gonna say, Bremix has got a point. If you wipe it off, you can't get past Lucifron. Now, this guy's like starting to speak for Blizzard too. Remember when he said he doesn't speak for everyone? Now he's speaking for everyone, okay? 5 bans are not very fun. Too few people. Have to all pick. It's a big party. And not to mention as well, if you don't need WoW to do this, okay? Like you can just play like Jackbox. I'm not gonna lie, okay? And then someone actually hinted as well. It's like you always want these good moments. You can get these good moments in a guild. And mate, it's like, this is where the mask slips off, okay? Guild rating impossible for me. Besides, gear too slow. You seen how the mask has slipped off here? He wants to get loot with no effort, okay? And I think people have figured this one out, okay? And then someone goes, have you heard of social spot? You can go to social spot. So this big Baz guy is being very, very generous, okay? And then he's basically saying to him, you've set yourself up to have a difficult time in the game, mate. Like, it's no one else's fault but yours. But he has to find some excuse. Okay, this guy, like, no one knows if he's trolling or is legit serious. Given the fact he's a serious completionist in his signature. And now Big Baz has finally, figured out. Now you just want the loot, okay? The mask has slipped off, and he wants perfect, easy bosses, easy loot. And now he loves Sauce Reserve, okay? After, basically Freddy just denied it. And then basically, someone has to say it, okay? Nerf has to say it. It's been about 10 days into this thread, and Nerf says, you have an excuse for everything, okay? And that's someone basically says, so join a guild as a social, get the loot they don't need, blah, 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 blah. So, like, basically it's being, hey, mate, like, if you can't raid full-time hours, just get the scraps. And pretty much he just goes like, this is Blizzard's fault. And also, not to mention, poor Big Baz, man. I think Big Baz has had enough, man. Every post you make is completely nonsensical. You have no aptitude for the game, even to the point of avoiding wasting your own time. And while everyone's telling you what you seems to us is plain obvious, you're still not convinced. Everything you ask in the game is answered. You just want you to have your cake and eat it. Poor Big Baz. If this raid is even easier, what's the point of an RPG and collecting gear? I'll make your character strong about all. If I have an environment to put it up to the test. Naxx is so easy that I feel alienated by the Raffledge kick out by quite a bit without the 30% damage change buff. I'd call like classic fans crazy. And Battlebeard, he's just lost in space. He's become an astronaut. He's like, RPGs don't have to be denied like that. And mate, like, classic should be big 1 LFR. Save that for later, by the way, guys, because he actually talks about like how you can wipe in retail LFR, and then he's basically saying retail is better in every single game. Wise, there's not one thing better with classic if you look at it objectively, but it's a game we love and stuff like that, mate. People do appreciate classics. You have to put a significant time investment into the game sometimes, okay? And everything in the game should be accessible for everyone. There should be not any content too hard for anyone. If anything, they should have nerfed Naxx, not buffed it. Holy shit, nerfing Naxx. I can't hold it in. I don't know if he's trolling or not, okay? We have still not found out if he's trolling or not. And then someone puts Sepulture LFI is far too hard. You can actually wipe there. And then nerf, God bless his soul. Oh no, you can wipe the horror. It amuses that you expect Blizzard to just throw loot at you for logging in, because no challenge rating is basically just that. Maybe Battlebeard should just play Lost Ark because they throw loot at him as well. But then again, he'd probably hate the honing part of it. But anyway, let's digress. And, he responds, that's what I want. That's what Classic offered. I hope the Classic will continue offer. Nothing stranger thing that, really. I never recall Classic being like, throw loot at me so I can get loot and feel gear and feel good about myself. And then someone was like going, vanilla was fun because you could face roll MC and have a good time. Naxx sucks because it's face roll like LFR. And someone wrote, am I reading this correctly? And he wrote, Naxx sucks because it's not face roll like MC was. Despite the fact at this point, basically, on the 21st of November, I achieved Undying on my Paladin, okay? And I had almost all the 10-man achievements done, and we were clearing 25 mans, 10 mans, at least Sarfarian 2 Drakes every time, and we did the Zerg strat by this point. And also, as mentioned as well, we've already done make quick work of him, killed Balagos super quickly as well. So, basically, someone asked him, what would you want, okay? And he's just like, I want to find large groups of people, like Battlefield 64v64 over Counter-Strike 5v5. Look who has the biggest esport, Counter-Strike, obviously. Large times make it cool and fun, challenges are irrelevant. A game of Battlefield where you roll enemies is far more even than a game when you have like a one-guy margin. I like easy games more than challenges. From the first time I watched 15 years ago, I hated dying. My God, this guy sounds like he's traumatized. And, basically, from Classic launch in 2019 to release of AK4, that was the pierced time in my head of my life. Chill 40 mans without wipes was the peak of gaming live for me. I'm dead serious, and I never troll. Like, this is at this point, there's people telling you, like, mate, next to space roll, I dropped this thread, but someone bumped it after months of activity. You know how I mentioned that awkward Squirtle guy's like he's just probably set off a gold mine? Not gold mine. He probably set off a mine and a beehive, and the hornets all coming out. That's exactly what's happened now. And then he goes, people started saying this didn't age well, but everything I predicted spread actually happened. I predicted wipes and wipes and wipes, and I had 10 times more wipes than kills and Naxx. I predicted hours every day, such a hero. I was like, this is the problem is that he thinks, like, this is the part. He said at the start, remember, I don't speak for everyone, but now here he is speaking for everyone. And then basically you can see here, I've never seen any guild recruit for social spots like that in my realm. People compete for spots at this point. Any guild can clear that 25 situation and not recruiting people in my situation. I have grey and green logs, less than 3 KGS. What chance do you think I even get a social spot? What would it take me over a more veteran social with 4 KGS? It's so pointless trying to find a guild of social. And yes, but this is the craziness that someone, poor this Dave Surfer, had to put up to guild with stuff like that. And he basically said, hey man, you can come into our guildies if you want to do so, okay? And he just like makes any excuse. You know that Nerf guy that said he makes any excuse? And then someone puts, I laugh every time I see this thread in recent posts. Mate, I'm with Stink here, okay? Every time I saw this thread, I just laughed harder and harder and harder and harder. And then he's claiming us that we're toxic. And I'm like, mate, we're not the ones that are toxic. You're just an absolute clown, okay? And he's basically like, And he says, not one person even offered to lend a hand to prove that I'm wrong, to prove there's hope for this game. Mate, like, this is like, this thread's at about, like, 20 pages by now. And there's been, like, plenty of times, like, Big Bad's trying to help people out. And then basically he's like, I have zero hopes killing an Eldar boss in phase 2. In fact, I don't think I can do boss for the rest of the expansion. I'm broke too. In game, I also buy boost, something I can do either. And then someone actually picked the obvious, which is Jack Wind. No one wants to help you because no one wants to have to kind of interact with you in the game. You're stuck because people don't want to play with you, not because anything to do with the game. Fix your attitude to fix your experience. And, you know, this guy's just gone with the backhand to the face, and he still tries to go for it, okay? And now he's like, I'm a peasant, I'm a bottom dweller, I'm pathetic, how am I derated this game? So this guy goes from, I'm the prophet, I am the almighty, to, I'm pathetic, feel sorry for me. Which is, you're not sure at this point if he's a troll or he's just wanting people to bend to his will, basically. Now, another guy responds, oh, the Battlebeard thread is trolling or is this reality? This is basically why it's the greatest thread, because you're not sure whether or not he's actually being serious or he's trolling. You don't know, okay? That's the best part. Not even he even knows. You're talking to a man who plays this game 8 hours a day, making him a casual, but doesn't tackle hardcore content. Try to make sense of it. You will not. Like another person said, Battlebeard first to be bookmarked when you get a shitty day works. You catch up with some pages, Battlebeard wisdom, making your day great again. And this is why this is the greatest thread ever, okay? And the greatest posters ever. And Battlebeard, of course, responds to the leaders, and he's a very dedicated casual player. So, poor, I say everyone is not sure whether he's trolling or is being realistic or not, okay? And basically, he's not wrong, guys. He's the only one living it, but he's not wrong. And then basically says, he actually admits he needs skills to boost him because he's bad. We've come full circle, then some. I never said I was good. I have great degree longs, blah, blah, blah. Change don't make sense. If you want to know why that was said, is that he actually paid. Okay, so you can see here. This is not true. I've seen people on Twitch do JK few of Buffed Naxx. This is funny. He does mention the channels, by the way. And they seem to struggle a bit, even though everyone's above 4K gear score. They don't look easy in any way. I say 5 as near possible, even with any gear. I struggled Naxx out 50%, was not sure. Or I only cleared it once, and that was because I had to lie and say I had a main of achievement bigger. Strangely nicely to give me an invite and pay him 1,000 gold, which was nearly everything I had. This is so pathetic. It's not even funny at this stage. I can't finish reading it. And, mate, without 30%, I really think people will earn dividing. No, this is so pathetic. Okay. Alexa, please play Despacito, okay? This is so pathetic. And, mate, like, people were just, like, sick at this point. They're just like, why can't you rate on a schedule as a cause of rash or anything like that? What's up? The problem's you, man. And, someone actually points that you get kicked because you are terrible, not because of anything else. And then this guy's like, hey, that's gatekeeping. So I'm going to say right here, Battlebeard, like, demands people to be forced with him. And you can see, like, Battlebeard's either a manipulator or a troll, okay, at this stage, okay? And you can tell he's a manipulator because he's saying, like, you're the one that's wrong, okay? I'm the one that's right. You must take me along because thou must, kind of thing. And, he's basically saying, is the raid easy or is it hard? And it's like, mate, like, he said you're terrible, as in, like, you're a terrible person to raid with. And then this is the funny part. Okay, somewhat, like, most I've seen stuff, if you're an elite of pugging, also, pugs can clear Naxx now, by the way. You are stuck in wipe, disband pugs that happen. You can't get any kills, you can't get any gears, a never-ending loop. I still don't have a single 25-man gear. And that is the end of the epic thread, okay? He stopped posting in it just a bit later, and mate, it's probably still going. I'll post the link in the description below. Thank you guys for sticking for the full 30 minutes, but that is the most legendary thread I've ever seen on MMO-Champion, and my god, is it a banger. Maybe I should put it into animation series.